Hello and welcome to Teresa's Journal. So, today's going pretty well. Um, my boy Zane's over and he's playing video games with my little one, and husband joined in. I played one game. They're like, "Come on, Mom, play more." But I didn't. I did play one, so that's good for me. That shows improvement. Connecting with the family on the video game level. So I'm trying. So my daughter swears she's going to play with us tomorrow. So tomorrow I'm going to play Mario Kart with my family. So it'll be great. Looking forward to it. So you talked about hallucinations and delusions yesterday. So I want to talk about what, I was on Zyprexa and then I didn't like the way it made me feel, and I talked about that. And I talked about going off Zyprexa and then going back to the hospital and getting on prevemazine. So the story goes, taking me back to the hospital, I was thinking that I could handle the symptoms on my own and that I didn't need the medication, that I could somehow survive. I did pretty good work, actually. I was very much concerned about the patients, um, and helping those who were suicidal, especially, get the help they needed. I was working on not the acute unit, but an intermediate unit where we dealt with more suicidal patients as opposed to the aggressive patients. It was a nice change. But anyway, so at home with my kids, when I was at home, um, as long as I was busy and doing something, I was fine. It was when I was trying to sleep, if I was just laying there, that I would start feeling the tactile hallucinations, and all the voices would come in. It was really, really hard to get a good night's sleep. And this one night, I took my kids to a movie. It was Cars 2. And my cigarette went out. It was Cars 2. And we were watching this movie, and I had a kid on either side of me. At the time, they were like 5 and 7. Don't quote me on that. I'd have to think too hard. But they're around that age, maybe 6 and 9. And I was trying to pay attention to the movie, but the voices were talking so loudly to me that I could not pay attention. And I was missing the opportunity to connect with my kids about this movie. And I was so angry that I couldn't just sit and watch the movie with my kids and just enjoy that time with them. And then I went home, took my kids home, and I had them crawl in bed with me. I often co-slept when they were younger. I had either one on either side of me, and I'm laying there in the middle, and I start feeling myself being raped. It was so uncomfortable, and I just started crying. So first I was crying at the theater, then I'm crying in my bed, I got up and I went downstairs, and there was this rocking chair that kept falling apart. And I picked up the rocking chair, and I started beating it on the floor. And it was flying into pieces. Pretty soon I hear this voice say, "Mom?" And I turn. It's my daughter, and my son is standing behind her. And they're like, "Yeah?" And I'm like, "Yeah." "What are you doing?" Letter says. I said, "Oh, I'm really cold and I want a fire, and we don't have any firewood, so I decided to make some firewood. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to wake you. Do you want to start a fire with me?" And they both looked at me, and they weren't convinced, but they played along. And we started a fire in the middle of the night. And I told them that I was going to be going into the hospital the next day, and that they were going to be staying with their grandma. Step-grandma? It was Matt's mom. The next day I called her. I said, "I have to go in. Matt's going to take me. Can you watch the kids?" She's so wonderful. She's like, "Anything. I'll help you." She took the kids in. And then the whole time I'm like going in. I have my husband with me. And at the time we were separated. We were separated for quite a while. But anyway, we were separated. And we go in, and he's, of course, right by my side, like he always is. And I kept saying, "I'm voluntary. I am not holdable. I am not a danger to myself. I am not a danger to the others. I can take care of my basic needs. I'm voluntary." I kept saying it over and over and over again. And of course, they never placed me on a hold because I wasn't holdable. I kept saying that I'm not holdable. I'm not holdable. And it took them a while to be convinced. I remember, let's see where I'm at, 8.5. They wanted to send me to another hospital because I went to a hospital that's known for having a lot of the rough cases, because I felt like I was sick enough that I needed the doctors that were used to the really sick patients. But they wanted to send me to the suite units where all of the higher functioning patients are. I didn't want to go there. I wanted to be with the tough cases. That's what I wanted. I wanted the docs that worked with the tough cases. Because though I was presenting very, very well, I was very, 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 very sick. So I just want to say, be careful what you pray for. Because I prayed to understand psychosis. I prayed for that for years. I went to school to try to understand it from a naturopathic point of view, which honestly wasn't too very helpful. No offense, naturopaths. There's a time and a place for naturopaths, but not when you have eminent psychiatric needs. Then it's time for an MD or a nurse practitioner. Okay. Enough about me. Yahweh, thank you for this day. This was a good day. Thank you for helping us organize the garage, get the living room in order, have my kids all together and playing. Thank you for Kyle dancing to music today. Shows she's improving. That makes me happy. Thank you for Scout learning to behave better. Help me to be a better dog mom. And train him to be a good listener. Thanks for all you do. Appreciate you in my life. Thanks for everything you brought me. May I live up to your expectations. All right. May Yahweh be with you.